Today, we're diving into a really wild management idea called the honey badger method. The big question we're asking is simple. Is it a brilliant new way to build super teams, or is it just completely bonkers? Let's find out.
All right, let's just get right to the heart of it. Forget all this stuff you've heard about team harmony and collaboration for a second. This method asks a pretty radical question. What if the real key to breakthrough performance isn't getting along, but actually making your team compete against itself?
And that wild idea is the engine behind what's called the Honey Badger Management Framework, or HBMF for short. It's a whole system designed specifically for those really high-stakes, unpredictable projects. You know, the ones where you're working with AI and you have no idea what's going to happen next. It's a bold claim for sure, so we're going to put it to the test and see if the science actually backs it up.
Now, the honey badger method isn't just one single idea. Nope. It's a complete system, and it's built on 4 key pillars that all have to work together perfectly, usually under some pretty intense pressure. So let's break them down.
Here they are, the big 4. Ultra-short cycles, govern competition, that's the spicy one, AI as teammates, and deliberate redundancy. We're going to tackle each one, grade the evidence behind it, and most importantly, see how they all fit together.
First up, pillar number 1, speed and options. You can think of this as the framework's engine. It's designed for one thing and one thing only, learning as fast as humanly and, well, artificially possible.
So how does this work? Well, it uses these super aggressive 7-day sprints. So every single week, you're not committing to some huge, long project. You're basically buying a cheap option to continue. This idea comes straight out of finance. It's called real options theory. It's like placing a bunch of small, inexpensive bets. If an idea looks good after a week, you bet again. If it's a dud, you cut it loose, instantly. You end up saving an enormous amount of time and money on bad ideas. And the evidence for this part, it's rock solid. I mean, these principles are basically the foundation of modern agile development. So this pillar gets a solid A-. It's proven, it's effective, and it gives the HBMF a really, really strong start.
All right, now we get to the controversial heart of this whole method. Pillar 2 is the internal tournament. This is what makes the honey badger, well, a honey badger. It's where things get wild.
Here's the setup. You literally split your team in 2 and you make them compete on the exact same problem. And the winning team, they get a big reward, a winner-take-all incentive. This comes from something called tournament theory, which basically argues that if you have a huge prize for first place and not much for second, it pushes people to give their absolute maximum effort. The goal is to get the best possible solution as fast as possible.
But, and this is a really big but, this is where the evidence gets a lot more shaky. In a corporate team setting, the results are, well, they're all over the place. Tournament theory gets a C+ to a B- because its success depends massively on everything else going on. It can work, but it can also backfire in a pretty spectacular way.
And this slide right here shows you exactly why. It's a total two-sided coin. The upside is obvious, right? More effort, more innovation. But the research is full of warnings about the downside. This kind of competition can easily lead to sabotage, people hoarding information, and a complete breakdown of trust. You need an almost perfect referee to keep the competition healthy instead of destructive. So, how in the world does this framework even try to manage those huge risks, and where does AI fit into all this? We are about to get to that. But first, if you're enjoying this breakdown of these cutting-edge ideas, take a quick second to hit that subscribe button. You really won't want to miss how all these crazy pieces are supposed to connect. Okay, let's look at the final 2 pillars. You can think of these as the crucial support system that's supposed to manage all that chaos we were just talking about, AI teaming and deliberate redundancy. So pillar 3 is AI teaming. Here, the AI isn't just a tool, it's treated like a full-fledged teammate to boost speed and quality. The evidence for this is getting stronger all the time, so it earns a solid B. Then you have pillar 4, redundancy. By having 2 subteams working on the same thing, you've got a built-in backup. This is a classic idea from high-reliability engineering, and it scores a B+. It's your safety net.
So, we have these 4 pillars. Some are solid, some are pretty risky. But the billion-dollar question is still just hanging there. Do they actually work together? And this brings us to the biggest problem of all, the integration problem, and the absolutely critical role of one person they call the guru.
This source material calls this the Lego fallacy, and it's a brilliant way to think about it. You can have a box of perfect Lego bricks, right? But that doesn't mean you're going to build a masterpiece. How you connect them is everything.
A whole system can fail even if every single part is good on its own. And that right there is the single biggest risk the HBMF faces.
In this table, this is where it all comes together. Just look at the top row with me. You've got competition plus redundancy. The synergy is great. You get two teams looking for the best solution at the same time. But the tension it creates is a massive risk of sabotage. Now look at the second row. Competition can create a healthy challenge, but only if you have psychological safety. Without it, you just get fear and people being afraid to speak up. The guru's entire job is to live in this table and somehow manage these trade-offs every single day.
So, it all boils down to this. This quote says it all. The entire framework succeeds or fails based on one thing: psychological safety. If the guru can create a high-trust environment where people feel safe, the competition could actually supercharge learning. But if they can't, the system turns toxic and basically eats itself alive.
So, what's our verdict? The honey badger method is a fascinating, high-risk, high-reward hypothesis. It's logically sound, but let's be crystal clear. It is absolutely not a proven, off-the-shelf solution. Its success hinges completely on the flawless execution of a leader, that guru who can walk the razor's edge between healthy competition and just destructive conflict.
And that leaves us with one final question for you. If you had that perfect referee, a leader you trusted completely to keep things fair and safe, would you be willing to go head-to-head with your own colleagues to create something amazing? Let us know what you think in the comments. Thanks for joining the investigation.